Hi everyone, welcome to this video. I'm Dan Ashendorf and I want to show you how to find trending products with low competition and high sales using my new software, which is called Jungle Juice. Before I do anything else, let me just go to my Amazon. This is live. I'm just going to refresh. So we are just literally at the start of the day. It's 10:20 in the morning here. We're on £107 at the moment. If you look at what we've done for the last 7 days, you can see this is in British pounds. Let me just do a quick search on this or translation rather, into US dollars. 6991. So this is, let me just do that, 6991. Actually, do you know what? Let me just do another search, which is 6991 GBP in USD. So we've done 9,408 US dollars in the last week. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you the methodology that we use to find our products. So there's two ways you can do this. You can either go into product name, but the problem is that you need to know what you're searching for. So instead of that, I'm going to be using the random niches search button, and this finds niches that, or products rather, that have low competition but high volume. So I can choose which marketplace to go for. I'll go with Amazon.com because it's the biggest marketplace, and also the majority of Amazon sellers tend to be from the US. So I'm just going to hit on random niches. What I'm going to do is I'm using an American address to make sure that I get the full amount of searches here. Now, anything less than a thousand results is a really good product, in as much as it's not very competitive. So the first one that's come up is 3D Pen Matte. Now, I never really heard of this, I have to say. What we're going to do in just a minute is have a look at how much these are actually selling in revenue. So the problem with just looking at the Amazon listing is that you don't know. So it's got 353 results, but you don't know how long back. I mean, this could be, it might have not sold anything in the last month. So you want to know how it's been selling in the last month before you make a decision if to go for this product. So what we do is we go to here. So it's populated the top 25, should be 25 results. There's 24 results coming up, and we can see this product here, which is this one. And so what the software does is it allows us to see the monthly revenue. This is information that you will not get from Amazon itself. You just won't know what the monthly revenue is. They don't show it for obvious reasons, but we've managed to track it down. You can actually sort it by the monthly revenue. You can see that this is not the top selling, in as much as by revenue, it's not the top seller. So this one is actually better. Let's see what this brings up. Let's see what that is. So it's got more ratings, and it's called MYNT 3D, Professional Printing 3D Pen with OLED. So this is a 3D pen. Okay, fine. So I think I'm getting the hang of this niche. I mean, I have to say I'm not a sort of a 3D pen specialist, but then a lot of these are going to be really kind of kind of way out there. That's the strength that I find with these random niches, is it just really kind of whets my appetite, brings up things that I could have never thought of before. So looking at 3D pen, so one thing that we always look at is something called async hijacking. So Amazon allows you to actually sell your product on someone else's listing, and that's called async hijacking. The problem is that a lot of people, a lot of sellers, and rightly so, they've got a brand name, so that they don't want people to jump on their listing. So what they do is they close off the ability to jump on their listing. But if you find these opportunities where you can, then what happens is you just circumvent the requirement to build up. It takes a long time to build this amount of feedback, but if you can jump on someone else's listing, you don't have to wait for that long, so you can get almost immediate sales. Now, the telltale sign is how many other sellers are on that listing. So I can actually sort the sellers by the number. So you can see this is the one with the highest number. I'd say usually if you want to do ASIN hijacking, you should probably be doing 5, because you don't want to be putting your listing on someone else's brand. That could get you into trouble. But if you have 5 and above, or maybe sometimes even 10, then you know that other people have done it, which means that that listing is kind of open. You still need to be careful. The listing has to be identical. Your product rather has to be identical to the listing. Otherwise, you as a seller, you're going to get in trouble. But it's a good telltale sign, and it's something to investigate further. So that's another really good thing that we have with the software, is you can see how many sellers there are, and also you can see if there's too many variations, like more than 2, then it's going to be a difficult one to compete with. So say this one here, it's got a decent amount of sales, but it's got 8 variations. So that means that you will find it difficult to compete. You can see they got different things, right? So they've got different sizes, and they got green and no mat. So they got, all in all, they got a whole bunch of different variations in there. So you don't want to be competing with this one. So just a few things to bear in mind. And also, in terms of, while I'm kind of on it, I'm going to go down here and just show you the various columns. So here you can see the weight and dimensions. So that kind of gives you a feel for the postage as well. So the smaller the weight and dimensions, the more likely it'll be able to fulfill the order with greater ease. So something you can store in your garage or something like this. And also from FBA, if you want to send it to Amazon, it's easier. If it's smaller dimensions, it just means it's going to be cheaper. So let's go back. I'm just gonna, in fact, I'll probably make the screen a bit smaller just to be able to fit everything in. You can also, by the way, if it's too big, what you can do is go to here and then choose which ones you want. Right, so 3D printing. So that seems like a really interesting one to go for. 3D, it's a 3D pen, but it was the mat, wasn't it? So 3D printing pen mat. So what I'll do now is I'll just show you how to get we're not going to go deep into SEO and all the images and everything. So what I'll do is I'll kind of drip feed some of this information in future videos. But the best way to go about this, finding the best keywords and list it myself and start getting money, I would say that on average I would want to be getting about 10% of this a month. So that should be the goal. So say we go for this one here, which I think was the original we were looking at. So that's a 3D pen mat. So how do we find the keywords for this? Let me go for all departments and type that in, and here you can see the ideas that you can be including inside your Amazon listing on the actual listing. But I would just go for all of the ones you've seen, and also I would go for the Google ones as well. So get some ideas from Google, and Google has got other ways of finding these kind of keywords. So for example, if I do this, that means that I'm going to be getting some ideas which are before the actual phrase itself. Okay, so I'm on AliExpress and looking at the costs. So they fluctuate from, the price rather, from close to $60 down to a lot less. You can see, you can kind of need to check on exactly what we're looking at. So this one here, I'm not really sure, but these ones here, they seem really straightforward, and they're selling for $21. And if we look at AliExpress, similar things, you can get it here for $5.85. Let me just see if it's actually the same one or even similar. Bear with me. So remember, even if it's not, so you can either jump on someone else's listing, or you can do a similar thing and then start your own listing. You don't want to be spending a lot of money. Maybe get, I don't know, say 10 of these. This is in British pounds, by the way, so you need to be adding 30%. So say we're looking at this one here, that seems quite cheap. And if we look at this one on Amazon, they kind of seem similar to a degree, assuming I think it's quite similar, assuming that we go for something, a similar product. So this one here is, and that's being sent to the US, so that's $21, and you can see you can get it from AliExpress for, that's about $7 or $8 free shipping. So just something to think about, a potential idea. There might be better products, but just something to get started with. You can see there's a lot of them here. This one here is actually £2.76, so it's actually cheaper. They have coupons and so on, so just something to think about. You can probably get started with this, maybe get 10 units, build up your profile, get a few good feedbacks, and this is how to start as an Amazon seller. Hopefully you found this informative, and we'll be looking at some other niches at the next video. Thanks very much. Dan Ashendorf signing out. Speak soon. Bye-bye.